The air remembered me before the stones did. When I stepped through the hush between worlds, the realm did not bloom the way it had the first time. It leaned in. The path returned beneath my feet, but its moss was darker, as if it had been listening for a long while and finally decided to answer. The lantern trees along the ridge held beads of light in their leaves, not steady but breathing, drawing in, letting go, like the realm itself had a pulse. I knew the elders were nearby because sound behaved as if it were polite. Even the wind softened its vowels. A bruised blue sky arched above, not night, not day. 3 slivers of silver lay on the horizon, as if someone had started to write a symbol and stopped, holding their breath. I remembered the way the river bent around the old stones, how the last time I had come here, I had been allowed to remember carefully, like a child cupping a flame. Now I felt watched by something that didn't need eyes. "Walk," the silence suggested, and I obeyed. The path narrowed into a throat of rock. Cold murmured along my wrists. My name came to me in pieces, the one I had worn in this life, the bone-deep name I never said aloud, and the third name that belongs to no mouth. They braided without touching. When I reached the place where the ridge breaks and the valley opens like a held-back secret, I found the first sign that the elders were not merely watching. A circle of pale stones had been laid at the valley's lip, not there before. Each stone bore a water-dark line, the same line repeated, as if the stones were learning to write. A language written by rain. I stepped in. The circle did nothing that could be seen. It edited me in ways that felt like remembering too quickly. Beyond the circle, the valley stirred. The grass was tipped in frost, though nothing else in the realm was cold. A single bird made a sound that meant both arrival and warning. I noticed then that the river no longer ran like a ribbon through the center. It rose, not with water, but with records. Thin, glass-bright threads unwinding from beneath the earth, each thread carrying whispers. A loom stood at the river's edge. It had not been there before. It had no weaver, only a tension that suggested one. The threads spilled from the ground, fed the loom, vanished into a cloth so fine it had to be worn by time itself. I walked to it, hands at my sides, the way one approaches a sleeping animal that has permitted you near. The cloth breathed. I reached without touching. My palm warmed as if a small sun turned beneath the skin. The threads hummed, and I knew. These were destinies before their decisions. The pattern of a life, while it is still a possibility, not yet bruised into certainty by fear or chosen into form by the courage that would one day arrive. The loom was the place between time where itineraries are argued, where the soul bargains gently with its future. Something moved behind me. I did not turn. The first test is always whether you can feel what you cannot see. The second test is whether you will lie about what you feel. "I know you," I said. The air said nothing, but I heard the shape of a smile. "Then say nothing more," the not voice answered. And I understood I had been permitted to name my knowing, but not to decorate it. I kept my eyes on the loom. Threads crossed themselves, unashamed of their tangles. A small knot shivered loose and darted toward the valley's shadowed end. I followed without meaning to. The valley floor folded inward until the world made a bowl, and at the bottom of that bowl stood a gate made of nothing a human could steal. 2 half-arches of obsidian met without touching, their tips a finger-width apart, holding a seam of living darkness between them. The Gate of Echoes. I recognized it without having ever seen it, the way the body recognizes the temperature of the womb that made it. On the obsidian curves, tiny etchings caught the indigo. Waves, eyes, a map with no borders, a geometry of returning. The seam between the arches was not a door, but a held answer. Every word I had ever said in honesty and every word I had swallowed hummed there. If I spoke, the gate would offer me back my voice, magnified into consequence. "You are late," said a softer voice, with humor in it, and one of the elders stepped from the margin where the rocks and the lichen kept each other warm. He did not wear age like a weight. He wore it like a landscape. His hair was ash and storm, his eyes a color I have no word for, because they had not yet decided what kind of truth they would be. The robe he wore was the same pale that dawn uses when it is unsure if it should wake the birds. A symbol rested over his heart, 3 slivers of silver, just like the horizon. I understood then. Someone had not stopped writing the symbol. They had written it across the sky to speak to me in distance. "You set the stones," I said. He inclined his head. "We offered punctuation," he replied. "You provided the sentence. Am I to pass?" I asked, gesturing to the gate. "You are to listen." He lifted his hand, and the seam of darkness yawned, not forward, but inward, like an inhale that had been waiting centuries to begin. The sound that came from it was not sound until it touched my chest. Then it was a memory of a night I had not yet lived, the feel of rain that had not yet fallen, the awful sweetness of a choice I would make when I had no right answer and chose the truer wrong so that a greater right could be born. "Echoes," I said, throat tight. "Not of the past," the elder answered. "Of what you owe yourself." He stepped to the side, as if to leave me alone with my debt. But he did not go far. The elders never abandon. They withdraw in a way that lets you walk without a hand and know that you were never unheld. The seam widened. I saw ripples like light under the skin of a lake at midnight. I leaned closer and the gate leaned back. A face surfaced, a version of mine that had more sky in the eyes. Not older, not younger, wider. She looked at me with the unstartled compassion of someone who had watched me make every mistake and loved me more for the cleverness of my trying. Her lips did not move, but her words arrived the way truth does when you stop coercing it. "You will be asked to pay with a name," she said without saying. "Not the first, not the second. The third." My stomach dropped. "The third name belongs to no mouth. You will not speak it," she added, almost kind. "You will spend it." I stepped back, breath short, like someone had pulled a thread from my ribs. "And if I refuse?" The elder's knot-color eyes warmed, as if he'd been waiting for me to ask that exact question, because it would prove I still remembered I had will. "Then the gate closes," he said mildly, "and the loom rewrites your roots to protect the child in you who is not done being small. We do not force the tallness of a soul." I wanted to laugh and cry at once. "I'm tired of small," I said to the seam, to my wider-eyed self, to the valley and the bird and the breathing lantern trees. "I am tired of rooms that teach me to fold." The seam pulsed. "Then pay," the elder said, not unkind. "But first, pass the 3 bridges." I looked around. "There are no bridges." "Every speaking is a bridge," he said, and began to walk. We came to the river of threads. The loom sighed as if amused. He gestured to a low span of planks that had definitely not been there a breath ago. The first bridge was narrow and unpainted, the kind of bridge you do not build for beauty, but for necessity. "Bridge of throat," the elder said. "Say only what is true and walk." I set my foot on the first plank. The wood thrummed under my soul. The river hissed secrets I had told to rooms that were not sacred enough to hold them. The sound made me want to turn my truths into softer animals, so they would be easier to pet. I did not. I spoke, and the words were spare enough to fit through the ribs of the world. "I love what I said I did not need," I said, and the first 3 planks held. "I am not hard because I am strong. I am hard because I was not held when I should have been." 5 more planks. "I am afraid of my gentleness," I said, and the bridge did not punish me for confessing the thing I had disguised with laughter and precision. It carried me. On the last step, I felt the urge to decorate the truth with an apology, a joke, a cleverness. I swallowed it. The bridge did not like apologies used as perfume. On the far bank, the elder's mouth tilted the way a cliff does when it's proud of the sea for continuing. "The second," he said, and we turned toward a span carved from a single fallen tree grown silver with the weather. It arched higher over the trembling threads. "Bridge of hands," he said. "Do only what is necessary." "I don't know what is necessary," I admitted. "That is why this bridge goes up," he said, "so that you will be above your habits when you choose." I put one foot on the silvered trunk. Below, the threads brightened, as if they were hungry for the weight of my indecision. My hands lifted without my permission. I saw how often I made beauty when honesty would have done, how often I made business where rest would have healed, how often I made fire where quiet would have warmed further. The bridge narrowed. I chose. I uncurled my fingers from a rope of pretty obligations, and it fell into the river and dissolved like sugar in tea. I bent and picked up a single task I had been avoiding because it would make me seen as I truly am. The bridge widened. I crossed. At the 3rd span, there was no wood, no stone, only space shaped like a bridge should be, as if absence had been taught to carry weight. "Bridge of heart," the elder said quietly. Feel only what is real. I feel everything, I whispered. That has always been my ruin. He looked at me with the kindness that makes you admit you want to live. Then you will learn the difference between the storm and the wind. I stepped onto absence. It held me the way a mother holds a child who has finally decided not to sleep during the thunder. The river below rose to meet me, and in its glass threads I saw the faces of those I had loved and those who had loved me, despite my stubborn, tender awkwardness. I felt the ache of the ones who could not stay because my old rooms did not have windows. I felt the relief of the ones who stayed anyway. It was almost too much. I asked the bridge to teach me the size of my heart. You are not an ocean, it said simply. You are the moon that moves it. I cried without sound and crossed into myself. On the far side, the elder inclined his head, not as a teacher to a pupil, but as one sovereign to another. Spend wisely, he murmured, and we stood again before the gate of echoes. The seam between obsidian tips had widened into a narrow mouth of starless dark. My wider-eyed self hovered just beyond, her presence a gravity that knew me bone for bone. The 3 slivers of silver on the elder's heart glinted once, then steadied. Somewhere behind us, the lantern trees exhaled, and their leaves dimmed to a steady glow, as if they were lowering the lights in a theater. Your third name is not a word, the elder said, because he could feel me wrestling the unsayable into syllables. It is a vow you have never broken, even when you believed you had. Offer that vow, do not speak it, live it through. The seam pulled gently, like a tide that had waited every lifetime for this one motion. I placed my palm into the dark and found not emptiness, but a living field that recognized me the way skin recognizes its own warmth. The vow rose, not a statement, not a promise, but a posture my soul had held even when I could barely stand. The gate shuddered once and opened. Sound became geometry. Time folded its arms so memory could pass. I stepped through the seam, not into a corridor, but into an echo of myself, large enough to contain the world. The valley vanished. The elder's presence receded without leaving. The loom's hum thinned to a thread. In the new space, I saw the room that is not a room where destinies are woven before they are lived. Men with torches worked on a structure whose angles knew the language of stars. Above them, a mirror without glass held the reflection of a woman crowned in gold that was not metal. Light given shape by love's authority. She looked at me and did not ask me to bow. She asked me to remember without shrinking. A wolf brushed my thigh without weight. Another followed, then a third. They did not snarl, they acknowledged. Pack without ownership, protection without leash. They crossed my path like blessings disguised as wild. From somewhere within the geometry, a single word rose. Not a command, not a name, a tone. It echoed the syllable I had accidentally spoken in ritual in another life when I thought I was alone. Ishmila. The realm answered as if a bell under the mountain had been struck. The sound moved outward into the future that was already listening. I felt the vow thread through it, keening soft. The seam of darkness sweetened like rain that had finally found the river it had been looking for. When I stepped back to the valley, the world returned gently, like a large hand releasing mine because it trusted me to walk. The obsidian arches stilled. The seam was a thin, smiling line. The elder's face had new weather in it. You passed, he said, not with triumph, but with relief. I spent, I answered. He nodded. Then it will be returned to you multiplied, the way breath returns after grief. Around us, the lantern trees brightened again. The river's threads settled into their low chorus. The loom's cloth showed one more row, and in that row, a pattern I recognized the way one recognizes handwriting after years apart. My own, but steadier. What changes now, I asked. You do, he said, and turned so I would have to lead. As we climbed from the bowl of the valley, the 3 slivers of silver on the horizon had lengthened into a full sigil. The sky's handwriting finally finished. I did not yet know how to read it, but I knew it read me. At the ridge, where the polite wind waited, I looked back at the Gate of Echoes. It looked smaller from here, the way mountains do when you have part of them inside you. The elder did not speak again. He didn't need to. The path remembered my steps. The stones remembered my weight. The air remembered my name, all 3, and would not spend them without me. I walked and the realm leaned in. The moment I stepped forward, the wind did not pass around me. It paused, as though the realm itself was deciding how to breathe in my presence. I felt it in my bones before I understood it in thought. I was no longer walking through the realm. The realm was now walking through me. The elder no longer led. His steps fell quietly behind mine, as though my movement had become the thread and his presence was now the witness. Every part of the land that had once felt like memory now felt alive with expectation, as though waiting to see if I would proceed as the one who merely remembered, or as the one who begins to choose. My heart did not race, it expanded, the way the sky might feel when a star is born inside it. The path beneath my feet shifted. Stones that had been dull a moment before now shimmered faintly with inner light, as though acknowledging each step as a declaration. Nothing in the realm was static now. Every breath I took altered something. In the far distance, the horizon moved. Not the clouds, not the light. The actual line where the sky meets the earth shifted upward, like a curtain being drawn to reveal something hidden. The elder spoke softly behind me, his voice like a hand placed gently on a shoulder without touch. "The realm has begun its turning," he said. "Not because you entered, but because you remembered you were never outside it." I did not answer with words. I didn't need to. The realm was already listening to what I had not yet spoken. As I continued forward, the shimmer beneath my feet followed like a silent chorus. It was not light reflected, it was light remembering. The moss on the stones bent slightly in my direction, as though greeting not my body, but the echo of who I had been before memory became fragmented by mortal time. The elder remained behind me now, a shadow of steady breath. Not guiding, not testing. Observing the way the realm would respond to my presence. Then it began. A sound rose in the distance, soft at first, like the opening of ancient wings beneath the earth. The air lifted, not with wind, but with recognition. The trees ahead shifted their branches without moving their trunks. Their leaves aligned, turning not toward the sun, but toward me. Not as worship, as acknowledgement. The realm was no longer revealing itself to me. It was revealing itself through me. A single thread of silver light descended from the sky, not like lightning, not fast or violent, but deliberate. It lowered until it touched the center of the path 5 steps ahead. Where it made contact, the stones rearranged themselves, not breaking, not cracking, moving with grace, forming a symbol I had felt in dreams but never seen awake. 3 crescents, interlocking, revolving inward toward a point that was not a point. A geometry of becoming. My breath deepened of its own accord. The air here tasted like rain that had not yet decided to fall. Behind me, the elder spoke, not aloud, but in a way that reached the marrow, whispered between my bones. "Do not step onto the symbol until your heart has chosen to lead." I looked down at my hands. They glowed faintly, not with light, but with memory. Every path I had walked, every grief I had carried, every moment I had almost turned away from my own becoming. They were not weights. They were keys. The symbol pulsed once, awaiting my choice. And in that moment, the realm did something it had never done before. It spoke my third name, not in words, in vibration. And the very air around me held its breath. The vibration of my third name lingered in the air, unspoken yet undeniable. It did not demand, it simply revealed. In that vibration, I felt all versions of myself turn toward this singular moment, as though every path I had ever walked had been leading me to this precise breath of time. The silver symbol before me pulsed again, slower this time, like the heartbeat of something vast awakening beneath the realm's surface. I stepped forward. The instant my foot touched the center crescent, the ground below me dissolved, not in destruction, but in unveiling. Light beneath the stones flickered in spirals, as though remembering a pattern long dormant. The air thickened with the scent of rain-soaked earth and something sweeter, like the memory of spring before it is born. A shimmer moved to my right, then to my left. At first I thought it was light bending, but then it took form. A figure appeared, as though drawn from the breath of the realm itself. Cloaked in silver mist, neither male nor female, yet containing both. Their presence did not disturb the air, it completed it. They stepped forward silent, until they stood on the very edge of the symbol. Their eyes, when they lifted them to mine, did not reflect me as I was. They reflected me as I would become. No words passed between us, yet I understood. This was not an elder. This was not a guide. This was the living echo of my own becoming, sent ahead through time to meet me at the threshold. The symbol beneath us brightened, each crescent converging inward. A single thought formed within me, not as questioning, but as awakening. I am not walking deeper into the realm. The realm is walking deeper into me. The silver-eyed figure inclined their head, as though acknowledging the truth of that thought. Then, for the first time, they spoke, their voice like wind passing through ancient trees. It has begun. The air trembled. Before I could respond, the horizon split. The horizon did not split with violence. It opened the way a memory opens when you finally become ready to see its truth. A line of silver light appeared across the sky, soft at first, then deepening, widening, until it formed an arc that reached from one end of existence to the other. I felt the pulse beneath my feet align with the pulse in the sky. The figure beside me, my echo, my future, my becoming, did not move. Their eyes remained on the arc above, unblinking, as though reading something written there in a language that only the soul can speak. Then I saw it, not in light, not in form, but in knowing. A mirror was descending. Not a mirror made of glass or metal, but of living consciousness. A membrane between the seen and the unseen. It did not fall from the sky. It emerged from within it. Every point of light along the arc drew inward, pulled by an ancient knowing until the mirror took shape, not as an object, but as a presence. The realm inhaled, the ground responded. Stones rose from the path in a spiral, forming a circle around me, not to contain, but to witness. A low hum began, not from the earth, not from the sky, from within me. The silver-eyed presence turned to face me fully now. For the first time, I saw the faintest reflection move across their gaze. My own face, but not as I am. As I was before time touched me. In that reflection, I saw the crown of light, the robes of the first realm, the truth of the vow I had just spent. The mirror lowered further, its surface shimmering like liquid starfire. It hovered inches above the ground, facing me. I knew without being told. What I saw next would not show me who I am. It would show me what the realm had been waiting for me to remember. The elder's voice came from behind, soft as dawn breaking through mist. There is no turning back beyond this point. My heartbeat slowed, not from fear, but from recognition. The silver presence lifted their hand toward the mirror, and the mirror answered. The mirror did not wait for me to move. It reached for me. A breath, not mine, passed through my chest, and the air folded around my body like silk being drawn through water. The ground beneath me vanished, not downward, but inward, as though the world had opened a memory of itself and welcomed me inside. There was no sense of crossing a boundary, only the unmistakable awareness that the boundary had always been an illusion. The silver-eyed presence stepped forward, but their feet left no imprint. They were not entering the mirror realm, they were returning to it. As I followed, the world behind me dissolved, not disappearing, but unbecoming, like ink lifting from a page and returning to the well it came from. There was no sound, there was no sky, there was only truth. And then I heard it, not with ears, but with the entirety of my being. You are not here to witness the mirror. A pause, a breath. You are here because you are the mirror. The space around me began to shimmer, not as light does, but as memory does when it remembers itself. Shapes formed, not with edges, but with intention. Each one pulsed with a question I had never asked aloud, questions buried beneath lifetimes of forgetting. They hovered in the air like constellations waiting for a name. I turned, and where I expected to see the silver figure, I saw myself. Not a reflection, not a vision, me. Standing several paces ahead, draped in light that moved as though it were alive, like a cloak made of breath. She did not mimic my movements, she led them, and in that moment I understood. This was not a future version of me. It was the version of me that had never broken, the one that remembered the original name, the original vow, the original purpose before time fractured identity into stories. Her eyes met mine, and the realm responded with a single tone, pure, ringing, impossible to locate. It resonated in my bones. I wasn't here to see what I might become. I was here to decide if I would return to what I already am. She did not speak with words. She spoke by existing fully in front of me. Every part of her presence held a truth I had only ever allowed in fragments. When she breathed, mountains formed in the distance. When she blinked, 1,000 rivers remembered their source and shifted course toward an unseen center. Her heartbeat moved beneath the fabric of the realm, like thunder remembering where lightning is born. She raised her hand, not in greeting but in invitation. The fabric of the mirror realm rippled. Behind her, forms began to emerge. Some I knew. The lantern trees, the valley path, the gate of echoes. Yet each appeared in a state untouched by forgetting. Everything was more alive, more real than in the outer realm, as though the world I had known was only a faded reflection of this deeper truth. Then she did speak. Her voice was mine, as it was before I fractured. "You have walked the path of memory," she said. "Now you must walk the path of consequence." A pause, soft and vast, for memory awakens you, but consequence chooses you. Behind her, the realm began to shift, forming something I had never seen before, yet somehow had always known existed. The landscape behind her continued to take form. Not a valley, not a temple, not a world at all. It was a tapestry, woven of living threads made of choices. Every thread pulsed with light or dimmed with shadow. Some glowed with the radiance of fulfilled purpose. Others flickered weakly, as though waiting for a soul to remember its vow. And then I saw them, paths I had not yet walked, but already existed. Each one echoing with a different version of me. Elara crowned in sovereignty, Elara hidden in fear, Elara lost in shadow, Elara risen beyond death. All of them real, all of them possible. The mirror realm was not showing me fate. It was showing me the cost of each path. The figure, my unbroken self, stepped aside, revealing a single thread brighter than all the rest. It shimmered with that same vibration that spoke my third name. I felt it before I understood it. This was the thread I was born to walk. But to step onto it, I would have to surrender everything I had ever used to define myself. The mirror between us trembled, and slowly it began to turn. The mirror turned with no sound, yet I felt its motion echo through every lifetime I had ever lived. Not outward, as a door opens, but inward as the heart opens when truth can no longer be delayed. The reflection within it shifted. For a moment it showed only light, pure, unformed, infinite. Then the light began to concentrate, as though choosing a shape it had once worn. My breath slowed, not from fear, from recognition. Something ancient within me leaned forward, as though a great silence inside had been waiting lifetimes for this moment. The mirror finished its turning, and what stood within its surface was not a version of me. It was the first memory of my soul,